Good morning, everybody. It's Graham again for the next episode of Detecting Talk. Fridays again here. Couple of things today in this episode, and I suppose it's keeping up with current themes. In the detecting world, things are moving quickly as usual. There's never a dull moment in this hobby, and there's never a dull moment in the running of Unearthed as a business. First off, I had a call last week, and to be honest with you, I wasn't going to mention it on these videos, but you know, why not share the information with you wonderful people. So I got a call on the phone last Tuesday, Wednesday, and it was, of all people, the BBC. The one show. Now, somehow the BBC have picked up these YouTube videos that I've been doing regarding green waste, and they want to know more information about green waste. Where did it come from? Out of the blue. A lovely lady. Now, I spoke to her twice. She rang me twice actually, and then we've been emailing each other ever since, regarding the problem of metallic green waste. I hate using the term green waste because it gives people a different opinion of what it actually is. But I passed over quite a lot of information to the BBC about the spread, in my opinion, the illegal spreading of metallic green waste. We've got to be a bit careful here, because I'm a bit concerned about it, because the very people that we want to be working with is landowners, farmers. We love farmers, we love landowners. Without them, we wouldn't be doing what we do. So we've got to tread very carefully when it comes to this green waste, metallic waste issue. So I've passed over information to the One Show at the BBC, and also I have passed on a contact to another detectorist, another gentleman that I work closely with, and he's going to take up the reins of liaising directly with the BBC about this particular issue. Now, we've got to be careful, because we don't want to be showing things in a bad light. We just want people to see what's going in the ground, and seeing it from an environmental point of view, where it is totally unacceptable, the amounts that are going in every year. So watch this space. I don't know what's going to come of it, but it's encouraging to see that these videos are being picked up, and Unearthed are fighting the campaign face to face against the spreading of the horrible metallic green waste. Now, it'd be interesting to see if some of you guys are still fighting the fight and are coming across it. We had our metal detecting club night last night, which mirror images the club nights on the Detectorist programme, if you remember. It's very, very similar to that, and I guess your clubs are the same, or not in some respects, but ours is very similar. So we brought up the issue of green waste, and one of the club members had just got some new permission only this week. Went out to try it a couple of nights previous, and first couple of signals was encouraging because he was finding it oldish stuff, and then the next hour and a half was just continuous aluminium scrap, window fittings, latches, you name it, and the permission was completely written off. So, you know, another example of green waste being spread on when people are actually getting new farms. They're finding out, to their horror, that this stuff has been spread all over the place. So I think I've done the right thing by raising the awareness of green waste. The BBC have picked it up. I've done my bit. I'll still continue to campaign against it and raise the awareness against it where I can. But we just got to tread a bit carefully, because we don't want to upset the apple cart, and we certainly don't want to be upsetting farmers. I mean, a lot of farmers, I suspect, that don't even know it's on their land. And if you've bought a farm recently, or you've purchased a farm off previous tenants or previous farmers, previous landlords, or whatever the word is, you know, chances are you didn't even know that stuff was on there. If you wanted to go organic on your farm and that stuff's on there, you've got absolutely no chance. So we're doing the right thing. Unearthed has done the right thing. I have done the right thing in my opinion, and with the help and support of other individuals, I think we can beat the battle, win the battle against the spreading of the stuff, or at least curb it to some degree and outlaw it. It's it's just ridiculous that in this day and age we're doing it. So there you go, folks. So I thought I'd share that with you. I know it's a difficult situation and a difficult subject to talk when the media's involved, should I say. But let's just see where this goes. It'll be interesting to see how it pans out in regards to curbing it, stopping it. Now, I did speak to the Friends of the Earth and they've been pretty much sitting on the fence to a degree about it. They want to be kept in the loop, but they can't help with any campaigning because they're already involved in the spreading and the plastic problems in the sea, which I can understand, but I'm pretty sure they'll have to get on board with this campaign against metallic green waste at some time in the near future. My opinion only. Right, so that's that bit taken care of. Thank you very much for your comments, everybody, about the soaking of my feet a couple of days ago when I was absolutely convinced that there was a coin in that river near me. It just shows you the effects that water can make on things on the bottom. I was convinced that was a circular object, a coin of some description. I had to go in for it. I got 2 soaking wet feet. My wellies are ruined. I think the dogs have, or one of the dogs have chewed me wellies. That terrier it'll be. And I got a soaking and it turned out to be a stone. So give everybody a good laugh. It certainly gave me 2 wet feet and a bit of a sore ego. But you know what? I'd do it again if there was something in there that looked interesting. I might take a probe in there or even a little detector in there one day just to see if we can unearth anything off that riverbed, because it is full of ancient pottery, modern pottery, Victorian pottery. There's a whole host of ages mixed in there. There's got to be metallic objects. There's got to be. So we may do a short video one day of me wading around in that river. But I've got some chest waders over here and I'll be putting them on next, not them stinking wellies, which have gone in the bin. There was a lot of cursing going on straight after that video, all aimed at my soaking wet feet. So I'm glad it gives you people a good laugh. Now, what we're going to be doing is discussing a little bit about the old X factor in detecting. Now, we've touched on the subject before of the strange and quirky ways of the hobby, but do you or do you not think there's a bit of an X factor that goes on in detecting? So, for example, you just wake up sometimes that feeling you're going to find stuff. You just got that feeling, haven't you, about a certain field. You've got a feeling about a certain find that you're going to make, and lo and behold, within that week or 2 or that month, it crops up. How many times has it happened to you? Give me some feedback. It would be interesting to see. There's certainly something that goes on in this hobby. I'm absolutely convinced of it. You guys might just think it's human nature and just the way the human brain works, but I've, time and time again over the years, I've thought about a particular find, and lo and behold, it'll turn up that particular day. It's uncanny. Driving to a permission, 2 or 3 hours drive in some respects for us. What else are you going to think about? You're thinking about the day ahead. You're thinking about detecting. You're thinking about finds. I've got to find a silver Celtic unit at some point. Bang! Within 2 hours, you're finding it. It's so strange. It's happened so many times. We've discussed it with our detecting partners. Oh, we haven't seen a beehive thimble come up for some time. First signal in the field, the beehive thimble comes up. I haven't seen a bit of Celtic gold for years. Bang! Somebody gets a bit of Celtic gold or a gold hammered or whatever. It's very, very odd. So I bet it happens to you guys. You just get that weird feeling, don't you, that something's going to come up. There's definitely an X factor that goes on in this hobby. I've been wandering around on fields and I've just had that feeling that something's going to come up. Bang, lo and behold, it does. And the opposite happens sometimes when you just get out of the car, for whatever reason, the atmosphere is different. You just know that you're not going to have a particularly good day. Now, that could be just purely down to coincidence or whatever you want to call it. But sometimes when you're detecting, you just have that feeling that nothing's going to come up. And it doesn't. You struggle all day. And you just knew right from the start of the day that it was going to be a poor detecting session. So let me know your thoughts. Do you ever have the feeling that something's going to come up good? And it does. Share your experiences and your thoughts, folks. It's always heartwarming, I guess is the right word, for me to get your feedback, as always, and I'll reply where I can, pretty much straight away or within the next 24 hours. I will make sure I make a reply to your comments, good or bad. Also, how many times have you guys drove around? So you're taking the missus shopping for a day somewhere, or you're going out for a meal somewhere, or you're going to visit friends somewhere, or you're going for a drive out in the countryside. How many of you guys are driving down the road and you're looking at the landscape? I mean, you're keeping your eyes on the road, I know that. You're you're not driving dangerously, but some do. And you're looking around, you're scanning the fields. Oh, I like the look of that. How many times have you drove around the countryside and you just see a particular field or a particular village or a particular area? Well, I like the look of them fields there. I've got to get permission on them. Look at these fields here in crop. Ooh, don't they look good? How many times have you done it? I've done it for years. Driving around, looking at fields, thinking, well, God, I'd love to be on there. But not just driving. If I'm on the train to London with business sometimes, I'm driving down from the Oxenholme station in Kendal, right down into London, and you can guarantee my eyes are peeled both sides of the train on the fields, and some of them don't half look tasty. So how many times have you drove around, or you've been on public transport or on the trains, looking at fields and thinking, oh God, I'd love to be on there? Taking it that one stage further, how many have actually gone out and tried to seek the landowner to get permission on the fields that you like the look of? Give me some feedback, that'd be interesting. I've done it a few times. Once or twice it's paid off, once or twice it's been an absolute disaster. But what I've found is, when I go into London on the train, I've always seen detectorists in the fields about an hour outside London. And that really does look the part. Ploughed arable land, rolling landscapes, bit of high ground here, you know, some really interesting features you can pick up when you're going on the train, believe it or not. And I always see one or two detectorists wandering around in them fields, so it must be good. Give me your feedback, folks. See what sort of feedback I'm going to get off yous. I mean, I'm pretty sure most of yous have been driving around the countryside on a Sunday with the missus, taking them out for a meal or whatever, or whoever with, your bird or whatever, girlfriend. And I bet you've thought, oh, I like the look of that. How many of you have thought it and not dare see it because you've got a new girlfriend in the car? You don't want her to know that you're a bit of a geeky detectorist, so you keep quiet. You're driving around, you think, well, I like the look of that. You should be liking the look of her sat next to you, never mind the bloody fields, but you're too interested in the fields. So how many people have done it? Let me know. Good luck to everybody that is out detecting this weekend. I am not, and it's been the 7th or 8th week. I haven't swung a detector in anger for 7 or 8 weeks. It's got to change soon. The fields out here, the grass is too long. The cattle are all over the place, and the arable fields have all got the crops in, so I'm stuck. Can't go anywhere. I could do a little bit of pasture here and there, but it's been blitz for years. It's not worth going. I'm desperate to get out, and hopefully, July, 3 or 4 weeks, I should be able to get on the arable stuff. But it's been a long layoff for me this year. Itching to get out. But if you're out this weekend, I know the weather's been horrendous. It's been horrendous here. It's been horrendous in the East Coast, down into Norfolk and places, Yorkshire. Lincolnshire's been wiped out, and other parts of the south. But if you can get a window to get out detecting, good luck. Next episode of Detected Talk will be Tuesday next week. Watch this space. Thank you very much for watching. Bye for now.